Coming up, breaking news. A United flight makes an emergency landing in Cedar Rapids.
And later, we show you what one Iowa City hotel has in store for the holiday season.
One Hawkeye sports program reached a major milestone last week. I'll tell you more in sports.
How come the university never cancels classes when it snows? Get the scoop in weather.
All that and more is coming up on this Tuesday, November 27th edition of DITV.
Don't click away. It all starts now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Jacob Gunther alongside Becca Scadden.
Yes, good morning, Jacob. We've got a lot to cover today, and we're starting this morning with some breaking news.
Passengers on a flight from Chicago to Phoenix had to spend the night in Cedar Rapids. United Flight 483 had to make an emergency landing about an hour and a half, taking it after it took off in Chicago. Officials say that the plane dropped nearly 3,000 feet in only 2 minutes. United said that they are working on getting their passengers to their final destination and apologize for any inconvenience.
Sexual assault on college campuses is a very real and very dangerous problem. The University of Iowa is working hard to combat it. The university's student government met last night at the Iowa Memorial Union to discuss their It's On Us campaign, Title IX, and how to make campus free from sexual violence. This includes UISG's Fall Week of Action, a week in which students become more engaged in conversations regarding sexual violence.
All of those rule changes would potentially impact the systems in which they're operating here on campus and throughout the country. And so the idea is, hopefully, in the democratic system in which we find ourselves, that it's not being created about us without our influence, without our voice, and wanting students to be aware of what those changes are and make sure that their voice is behind any changes that are happening. And yeah, just that nothing's happening about them without them. At RVAP, that's our mission, is one day to create a campus, and not just campus, but world, where sexual violence doesn't happen. All of those.
The UI campus has a lot of helpful resources for victims of sexual misconduct, including counseling and night transportation. To learn more about Iowa's Fall Week of Action, visit dailyiowan.com.
Paul Manafort, President Trump's former campaign chairman, has allegedly lied to federal investigators in breach of a plea agreement that was signed 2 months ago. Prosecutors have not yet said what Manafort lied about, but a sentencing memo sets forth, quote, the nature of the defendant's crimes and lies, end quote. Manafort was convicted in federal court on multiple counts of tax and bank fraud. He is expected to face at least 10 years in prison.
Yesterday, President Donald Trump demanded that Mexico deports the caravans of asylum-seeking migrants who are making their way to the United States border. Trump has continued to bring up the topic of border control throughout his presidency. Yesterday, he spoke about the current situation regarding the border.
We've, during certain times, as you know, closed the border. They're not coming into the United States. They will not be coming into our country.
He also called for Congress to provide more money for his proposed wall along the southern border. Trump had expressed to fellow Republicans that he would not settle for less than $5 billion in funding. Lawmakers are currently facing a December 7th deadline to vote on a $1.6 billion fund for the wall. Trump says he would shut down the government in order to get more funding for the wall from Congress.
With snow finally on the ground for the season, one doctor at Mercy Hospital in Iowa City is helping to make a difference. On the third Saturday of every month, the Iowa City Catholic Worker House offers free foot soaks, medical examinations, and more, depending on the needs of those who visit. Dr. Tom Novak works with the house to emphasize foot care, as feet are more prone to infection and disease for those who live outdoors. Working to help the homeless, Novak told the Daily Iowan, quote, a lot of people are essentially living in their shoes 24 hours a day. A little difference can prevent some potential catastrophic problems, end quote. Problems can include large calluses that could cause severe pain while walking. Along with services, the clinic also brings in socks and shoe inserts to those that need it.
Well, Jacob, you know, with that big snowstorm we got on Sunday night, I think a lot of students were expecting classes might be canceled on Monday.
Yeah, just figures University of Iowa never cancels school, even when it seems to be at its worst. But anyway, we have Kate in the weather studio to give us more information on what to expect for the rest of the week. Kate?
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm sure we were all disappointed to hear that this weekend's winter storm wouldn't be stopping us from going back to classes after break. University of Iowa almost never cancels classes, but why is that? As it turns out, our university's snow removal team actively works to clear approximately 50 miles of sidewalk when the weather gets dicey. UI's landscape services have 2 front-end loaders for service drives and parking lots, 9 skid loaders and 4 pulley track machines for sidewalks, and 6 pickup trucks paired with 2 snowplows for streets and loading docks. This doesn't even include additional measures like snow melt systems and salt. So Hawkeyes, if you're wondering why you have to brave the winter weather for classes, here you have it. Moving on to today's forecast, we'll be experiencing a chilly day with a high of 24 and a low of 7. Then for the rest of this week, we'll have some pretty decent weather. Wednesday will be a little cloudy, but a little warmer weather with a high of 29 and a low of 24. Our chances for PM showers on Thursday have decreased from 50% to 20% and paired with a high of 35 and a low of 24. Friday is still looking good with a high of 35 and a low of 32. Thursday showers moved later in the week to Saturday with a 60% chance of precipitation and a high of 38 and a low of 31. And that's all I've got for you guys on weather today. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Kate. Starting next week, locals will have a new place to catch an all-day breakfast. Taking the place of what was Food Republic, Milk, a cereal bar and diner, is opening on Washington Street and is bringing a fresh and adventurous taste on dining. From Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal shakes to some more traditional diner foods such as hamburgers, there will be dozens of options for customers to try, including 25 different cereals. The restaurant is currently hiring, and opening night isn't too far away, as they plan to open sometime next week.
The UI College of Public Health is partnering with K-12 students to bring healthier options to their lunchrooms. The program focuses on the importance of eating well-rounded meals from each food group while offering different activities to help keep students engaged. Carrie Scheitel, one of the co-directors at the Iowa Department of Education, said, quote, "Students who participate in school meal programs can get up to half of their calories each day at school. It's important that schools offer a variety of fruits and vegetables and entree options that students enjoy," end quote. A group of UI students and researchers have been working with 30 schools across the state of Iowa, starting their work in 2013. The program is expected to conclude in May of 2019. For more information, head to dailyiowan.com.
A teddy bear room. You heard me right. Downtown Iowa City has opened its doors to hundreds of teddy bears, and DITV reporter John Chenoweth has the story.
The Iowa City Downtown and the Hilton Garden Inn partnered together to create a room at the Hilton Garden Inn with over 100 teddy bears in it. Now, obviously, I'm in that room right now, as you can see. Let's go check out the rest of the display.
Iowa City Downtown had a very popular teddy bear room in one of their temporary pop-up stores on the Ped Mall last year, and they wanted to do it again. The Hilton offered to host it daily so that kids and adults could come downtown any day they wished. There's no significant tradition, it's just a fun opportunity to let kids of all ages be kids and hug and love a teddy bear. You can take selfies, family photos, or just sit and enjoy. I spoke with the Hilton Garden employee and asked him about his initial reaction to the display and how popular he thought the display would be.
I'd say my first initial thought seeing the room was it was very festive, very appealing to children. It's our first time. I think kids will love it though, once they start coming in and seeing all the bears. It's pretty cool.
I then asked him if he had anything to do with the setup for the display.
I helped him carry some of the things up to the room. Took a couple carts up, took about probably 4 or 5 trips with the bears and all the stuff they needed for it. So they got little hats for the kids and everything.
The bears you see will go on sale at the end of the month for the United Way of Johnson and Washington counties.
Obviously an interesting display. I recommend anyone in the Iowa City area to come visit it. I'm John Chenoweth reporting at the Hilton Garden Inn for DITV News.
Wow, Becca, that is absolutely precious. I know my sister would love to spend a night in that room.
Well, Jacob, you know, I'm hoping I might get to stop by that room at some point too this winter, but we'll have to wait and see. We've got Hawkeye football to talk about. They had their last win of the season this weekend against Nebraska.
Yeah, I'm excited for their bowl game. Glad that it's in a warm environment instead of the cold, wintry situation.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. We're not sure. There's rumors. So let's toss it over to Declan in the sports studio with more on that.
Yeah, hopefully, Becca, this is not their last win of the season, as there will be a bowl game. But one running back played a huge role in Iowa's win over Nebraska on Friday. DITV sports reporter Taylor Van Fleet has the story.
We all know it was Iowa kicker Miguel Racinos who made the biggest play of the game against Nebraska. But it was running back Mekhi Sargent who was awarded Offensive Player of the Game for his career-high 173 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. The offense had a game plan against Nebraska, and Sargent stuck with it.
We just needed to get first downs in the huddle. We preached, hold on to the ball and drive. Hold on to the ball and drive. And I think we did a good job.
Hold on to the ball and drive is exactly what he did all day against Nebraska, and especially on this play when it took nearly the entire defense to finally stop the 5'10" running back. And Mekhi's teammates know that as long as they do their job, they can trust him to do his.
Just change it up out there. He's a good guy. He's a powerful back, but he's also elusive. So we know if we give him a chance, he's going to take the cracks and creases and make the most of it. So that was the biggest thing for us, just getting him in space and letting him do his thing.
I don't know exactly his stats, but that's pretty impressive. And it goes back down to just the way he prepares and also to the way that the offensive line prepares. They did a great job all game and gave him some good holes to run through.
Now the 2018 regular season has come to an end, but Iowa will probably consider utilizing this tough running back in various ways in whatever bowl game they are selected to play in. Reporting from Kinnick Stadium, this has been Taylor Van Fleet for DITV Sports.
Right now, there's a lot of speculation that the Holiday Bowl in San Diego will be the destination for the Hawkeyes this season, but stick with the DITV for updates. As we all know, not really to rely too hard on those early bowl predictions. But in other news, earlier this month, Iowa Wrestling captured their 1,000th dual win in program history. DITV Wrestling beat reporter John Rawson has the story.
Wrestling at Iowa has been historically great. And when Iowa started their 2018 season, they were only 1 win shy of 1,000. So when Iowa won their duel against Cal State Bakersfield in early November, Coach Brands knew he was in special company.
E.G. Schroeder, Pat Wright, Howard, McCuskey, Kurtermeyer, Gable, Zaleski. And now, the leadership is here. And what that means to me is that all those names and all the names that wrestled for those coaches, that's a tribute to them.
And the understanding of how special wrestling is at Iowa extends from the coaching staff down to the athletes.
Well, being part of Iowa history is, it's incredible. This program has a pretty big, name to it, and it's just an honor to be a part of such a prestigious program.
As Iowa wrestling continues this season, they'll be looking for more pins and more wins. Reporting from Carver Hawkeye Arena, this has been Jonathan Rawson, DITV Sports.
Iowa has a hometown showdown against Iowa State this Saturday in Carver Hawkeye. Well, yesterday, the AP poll released their weekly rankings, and the Iowa women's basketball team came in as the number 14th team in the country. With that, we have the women's basketball beat reporter Natalie Acapeti standing live in the newsroom. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning, Declan. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. So, Natalie, how have the Hawks been doing as of late?
Well, the Hawks just traveled to the Bahamas to take on the number 25 West Virginia and Florida State in the 2018 Junkanoo Jam. They did finish with a 1-1 record, but the number 14 ranked Hawks have had a solid season so far with wins over Oral Roberts, Western Kentucky, and North Carolina Central. And they currently are averaging 100 points per game, along with 4 Hawkeyes averaging in double figures. But don't forget about senior Megan Gustafson because she earned Big Ten Player of the Week for the 3rd consecutive week in a row.
That'll be a great one, Natalie. Thank you. And we'll hear from Coach Bluter later, but come back tomorrow to see how the Iowa men's basketball team did in their ACC Big Ten Challenge against Pitt. Jacob and Becca, back to you.
Thank you for tuning in this morning on DITV. For DITV, I'm Becca Scadden.
And I'm Jacob Gunther.
Thanks for watching. Have a great day, Iowa City.